Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for attending this beautiful partnership ribbon cutting. I'm Grant Genslinger, Molly Rogers. We're from the Lackawaxen River Trails group. Our group, by the way, anybody who's associated with that group, raise your hand and wave so people who know who you are, there you are. We're a broad-based grassroots group from every walk of life in the county and the community, coming together with the sole purpose of refocusing our attention on the Lackawaxen River. The Lackawaxen River, of course, for 200 years has been the spine of our community that has furthered and spurred industrial and economic development. It has enhanced and nurtured the developments of our communities along the river and served as location for the important cultural and historic sites in our region. Our group's focus was to honor this river with a multimodal trail and park system, cutting all the way through Wayne County down into Pike County. In order to do that, we realized we needed help, and that help came from our county commissioners in the beginning of an expanding partnership. The county commissioners stepped up and spearheaded and took the lead in applying for the funding that was necessary for us to do a feasibility study, which is the study was the method for us to focus on what we needed to do to achieve our goals. The county applied to DCNR, and DCNR was our next partner that gave us the funding to do that study and do the broad-based research to fulfill this mission of a multimodal trail system along the Lackawaxen River. Molly will give you a little bit of a timeline of that, but thank you for coming. Come on.
Okay. So from the feasibility study, the next step was to figure out what was going to be fundable. We knew this was feasible, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done from feasibility to where we are today. So when the feasibility study was actually released, it was during COVID. There was a statewide travel ban, so the people from Fish and Boat weren't allowed to get in their car to come to Wayne County until the state gave them permission. So when the state released the travel ban, they got here as fast as they possibly could because they were so excited about the potential for a river trail on the Lackawaxen. So one day, Tim Schaefer and Scott Bollinger and Bill Gibney show up, and we spent the whole day just going from Hawley up to Honesdale and visiting probably what then were about a dozen different sites. And it was Fish and Boat that said, this is perfect, this is less than perfect. So that we knew where we could focus our energy and our attention in the beginning. So out of the potential sites, we picked the best of the best to start to focus on. And we began with just two. This is one of them, and this is what we're celebrating today. The other one that will start construction is up in Honesdale at what used to be called Industrial Point. We are now, for everybody's reference, calling it Sycamore Point. The construction on that, we hope, will begin in March of next year. So by the end of the year, next year, we will have two official sites, and then there's another one planned in Indian Orchard. We then, once we figured out where we were going to focus our energies, we had to start working on the planning and the budgeting process. And we, in this case, is a term for Woodland Design Associates, especially Jason Wood. Jason, wherever you are, there's Jason over there. What you see today is Jason's and his crew at Woodland Design Associates. What you will see next year at Sycamore Point is the design and the concept and the work and the construction put in by Woodland Design Associates. So they were the ones that took us from what we can envision to the reality that we are celebrating today. So I'd like to introduce Bill Gibney, the chairman, the president of the Board of Commissioners of the Fish and Boat Commission, and Tim Schaefer, the executive director of the Fish and Boat Commission.
And I will say, Molly's scissors these are the ones we brought. She has better scissors. So, Molly, thanks. Mike, we're going to have to get a new pair of scissors. So I'll kick it off and then turn it over to Bill. So I'm Tim Schaefer. I'm executive director of the Fish and Boat Commission. And this is unbelievable. I mean, I remember standing here with Molly, and I maybe even, I think I abided by the travel ban. Maybe I didn't. I think we were up here as quick as we could. But, yeah, it is an exciting day. Our agency is one of the fundamental things that we are, as a priority for us, is connecting people to the water and public access. And you need to know what you guys have put together in Wayne County and hopefully on into Pike County has become a model for the entire Delaware River watershed. We recently got $1 million grant from the Fish and Wildlife National Fish and Wildlife Foundation and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that was directly a result of the work that is being done here. The leveraging capacity, and I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but you've more than doubled and tripled the investments of some of the folks that have made contributions to this project. They've just been leveraged so many times over. When Grant and Molly first took Bill and Scott and me around, as she said, there was a vision for where the spots ought to be, and I will really give them credit. They were flexible because we do a lot of these projects, and maybe you need to move it here or move it over there. They were all ears to make the three sites as accessible as possible, so as many people can use them. It's notable where we are. I mean, what thing I think is so cool about this, we're next to athletic fields, and people are going to be here and think, oh my gosh, what's going on over at the river? What the water trails are doing statewide is making outdoor recreation relevant, and it's making water quality relevant to local communities. The Lackawaxen River is going to be more relevant to Honesdale and Hawley than it ever has been because of this. So just, thanks to the local groups, for local folks for everything they did to make this happen. Our state elected officials, we're sort of here right on the border of a couple different legislative districts, but Senator Baker, Senator Brown, Representative Adams, Representative Fritz, just please know here in Wayne and Pike County that you have huge advocates for these outdoor recreational assets in Harrisburg and are definitely fighting for the resources that you guys need here, that you have real friends at the Capitol. Last two things I'll say before we get into Bill is we are committed to Wayne County as an agency. I met Brian Smith and John Fritz in a high school auditorium full of really angry people when we had to pull the plug on Miller and White Oak Pond. They are coming back. I was just at if I have hat head right now, it's because I had a construction hat on at Lower Woods Pond earlier. That's just about done. We've got a new dam there. We've got a new access area we're building. So that's coming back. We're going to start to refill that next year. White Oak, I know some folks don't believe it, but that's coming. The permit is just about to be issued. That'll come next in construction. Then Miller, wedged in between there, we're going to be fixing Belmont Lake next year. That dam needs fixed. We've got the permit in place, and we're in the pre-construction phase. And then also the Pleasant Mountain State Fish Hatchery. If you guys have been there for a while, please stop by. But we are all in on Wayne County, and it really starts here at the Lackawaxen River. Last thing, wear your life jacket. It's a warm day today, but the weather that's coming in. I don't care if you remember one thing that any of us say up here. It's wear your life jacket. Every year, about 80% of the fatalities are because people not wearing their life jacket. Come November 1st, it's the law. For November 1st through April 30th, all canoes and kayaks and all boats under 16 feet, you have to wear your life jacket. We put that in place about 10 years ago. We've cut our fatalities in half in the cold weather months. If you go in the water this time of year, you might not come out. So please wear your life jacket. With that, I'll turn it over to my boss, who is Bill Gibney, who's our recently reconfirmed member of the Board of Commissioners from District 7.
Thank you. I didn't know I was going to speak, so I'm just going to lapse into one of my physics lectures, so have a seat. I didn't really have that much to do with it. I just was responsible for today's weather. But I know this is so exciting because I think you have to think more than a century ago, our forebears here were hauling coal down this river to New York City, and that was our nature. And then I remember so many years, and several of my friends and colleagues here, we participated in the JC canoe race in April, and we would get out here, and this would be the terminus, and we may do, but this is gorgeous, and this is very exciting. But for the people who are involved with this, Molly and Grant and everybody else in the crew, and I've said this before, we all can't live forever, but we can do things that remain behind, that we have a certain number of days in our life that we can make things better. And Molly and Grant, and I know Molly's efforts here and Grant have been so dedicated to making things for our community better that will outlive all of us, and we have to just say our appreciation for them. It's been a pleasure to work with them, and what Fish and Boat can do to enhance and improve on this, we are more than happy to help. So my congratulations to Molly, Grant, and the rest of the crew for what is an outstanding accomplishment for our community. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, it's hard to follow that. Great to be here. I got to tell you, we've been looking forward to this day with some excitement in DCNR. You might gather from our attendance, we're pretty excited by the project. I came up in a car this morning with John Norbeck, our Deputy of Parks and Forestry, who's around here somewhere with a logo shirt on. Chris Novak, who's our Communications Director, but she heads our water effort across the department on everything from access to riparian forest buffers. Christine DeTore, who's our advocate for this area, our grants advisor, and I want to comment on her a little bit later, how often she seems to win River of the Year for this region. I think she has her thumb on the scale there a little bit. Mary Hunt is from our Rivers program in central office and responsible for the grants and managing the grants. You'll see Mary with the bandana around her head. I want to also point out Derek Eberly, who's our governor sportsman advisor. So Bill, he advocates to get you seated and get our commissioners seated so the important business of the Fish and Boat Commission can go forward. So anyway, it's a very good day to be here today. It's very exciting to stand here with our Senate and House leadership. Bill's comment about being able to do something while we hold these offices that has lasting impact. I was in a meeting with Governor Shapiro yesterday. And as he often does, he ended the cabinet meeting with a word on holding these positions where you can do good for the public and using them in humble leadership to deliver something that's lasting. And Bill captured that just perfectly. And it's the great honor that those of us in public service have to be able to provide a grant to help bring this to Wayne County and honor the local leadership, local vision of Grant and Molly and the leaders here in Wayne County. And I've got to say, Wayne County is a wonderful place. I mean, with all the lakes and rivers, and it was just a tragedy in a way that the Lackawaxen didn't have a developed public access. An attribute that's important to the quality of life up here, to the economy, didn't have a good public access. I was here in 2010. It was River of the Year. Again, Christine tipping that scale again for the Northeast. And I had a chance to paddle it. It's just gorgeous. And I've had a chance to drive its length and look at bald eagles in the dead of winter. Again, one of the best bird watching opportunities that you can have in the wintertime in Pennsylvania is to drive and see the bald eagle roost. It's pretty spectacular. But to make this accessible for all people and to drive the economy that'll come out of making the Lackawaxen accessible, not just this access, but a connected string of accesses that the plan calls for. The vision is really truly remarkable. That'll drive economy beyond your imagination. The tourism, the visitorship, the local visitorship, the purchases, everything from buying the PFD at Tim Schaefer's request and buying the equipment and buying the food and choosing to stay around and stick around an extra day to enjoy this place. The accessibility part of it really weaves into to what Grant was saying in the very beginning. What I really like about Rivers' work, it weaves and blends everything together. It passes through communities. It doesn't care about Republicans and Democrats. Everyone's together. Everyone cares about it. Everyone from any walk of life benefits from a river that goes through their community. And that accessibility and making it accessible to all people is critical. Love the design here. There's something here for everybody, someone on wheels, somebody who's paddling, somebody who needs to have access to the river for their healing. It's there for accessibility in all people, and that weaving that a river does of pulling together a community, pulling together people, creating a place where people run into each other and talk and meet their neighbors, meet visitors from other parts of the state or from other places. So it's really pretty cool. And then the other thing is with our warming trends, as demonstrated by today, which I have to admit, kind of enjoying today, as freaky as it might be to hit the 70s this time of year. But in the heat of summer, people are going to be seeking water recreation in ways they never have. People are going to be wading, getting in the water, swimming, just trying to cool off. And the more access we can have to rivers and water across Pennsylvania, the better off we're going to be. And so the Water Trails program, led by Fish and Boat, supported by us, is going to be more and more important. So people can look on a map, see how to get to a river, and get in the river, go cool off. So it's more important in a changing climate. So it's not, the Lackawaxen itself is not currently a dedicated water trail, but with the criteria being met of access and a developed water trail that people can find, I would hope and look forward to a day when it does become a designated water trail. And we can keep adding to that mileage of designated water trails in Pennsylvania and kind of tip that scale up from 2,300 where it currently stands. Anyway, this is obviously exciting to the community here. This is witnessed by all of you here. The Lackawaxen has a lot of support, and it's wonderful to see. It's good to be standing here with a group of friends and leaders from from across. Looking at John Blake, who I worked with when he was at DCD and helped make grants on the Lackawaxen River in his role at DCD. Now he's with Congressman Cartwright. So it's good to be here with all these supporters of Lackawaxen, and we at DCNR look forward to Tim's next call for the next access area that we want to take on. Thank you.
Yeah, Rosemary. I didn't realize. Oh, it's high. Good morning, everyone. Today's celebration is a culmination of concerted advocacy, and Grant and Molly and everyone who has been involved, tireless advocates behind the scenes for many, many years. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment. And I want to thank all of you for being here to celebrate what the future holds for outdoor recreation. Tim and Cindy, in their state agencies respectively, have done a marvelous job of enhancing river access throughout not only northeastern Pennsylvania, but the entire Commonwealth, and creating these recreational opportunities for visitors, for residents, for neighbors, will lead to economic growth and development. So I'm honored to be with you. I want to thank the commissioners for spearheading the initial work, and my colleagues, Rosemary Brown, John Fritz, and Joe Adams. We were proud to support this effort, and today is a culmination of the advocacy of a great community. Thank you so much.
How much more can we say? Right? This is what it's about. It's beautiful. I'm Senator Rosemary Brown. Obviously, that was Senator Lisa Baker. We have the honor of sharing Wayne County as senators, and it's just wonderful to see this. It's nice, I think, when you see, that, like Lisa said, the culmination of government from the federal level, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and you go down to DCNR, you go down to the Fish and Boat, you go down to the Wayne County Commissioners, you have your trail advocacy partners doing the research. This is what people want. They want good government, and they want government no matter what. Come together, and when it shows up in your backyard like this, then you could see how well it all works. So very pleased to be here. And I'm not sure, Chris Barrett's here from the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. I just want to say hello. And we actually are just so pleased to have so much tourism because of the beautiful area that we live in. So we have to remember that and keep it beautiful while we do develop things. So thank you so much. God bless.
Just one thing, I'd like to recognize Bill Gibney and Charles Charlesworth. We were delighted to support your confirmation votes this week in the Senate to be back on the Fish and Boat Commission, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you and the entire board of Fish and Boat for your work. But Bill, having you as chair from Northeastern Pennsylvania is indeed special, and we're delighted. Thank you for your work.
So when Mr. Gibney stepped up and said I'm going to lapse into one of my physics lectures, I had a flashback. He was my teacher in high school. But don't ask him about my behavior. Statute of limitations applies, friends. Oh, he said he kept notes. That's dangerous. So A River Runs Through It. Anybody know that movie? Absolutely love that movie. But it illustrates so clearly what a river, what a body of water means to somebody. Healing power and therapy and how it impacts the soul. But we have a river that runs through White Mills and it runs through Honesdale and is very much part of our DNA. And the sun is shining very much so on White Mills today. But I need to give a shout out because so many people come together to make this happen. And it's the beauty of a community that truly cares. I hear you.
So, well, let me do them right now. So, Dan's, good morning. My name's Dan Card, and I'm the Executive Director of the Human Resource Foundation. I want to thank everyone for the invitation to attend today's event. When Molly asked me to say a few words, I was humbled that I would be considered. When I look at what the Human Resources Foundation does, it makes sense that people know this was a community effort. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life and well-being of individuals with disabilities. Our vision is for a community that embraces accessibility so that everyone may live their life to their fullest potential. About a year ago, we expanded our services to include the elderly population. We now provide grant funding for the elder community that need home modifications, adaptive equipment, and assistive technology needs in their home or community. When I received this grant application for the White Mills Access, I had seen the potential to help everyone we serve. When I presented it to my board of directors, the conversation quickly turned to having this ADA access will touch a large amount of people in our community and the people visiting our great community. I was also on the Honesdale Lions Club fundraising committee that raised funds for this project as well. In both cases, when it was discussed, we would when we discussed it, we would assist with our annual fundraising project. The Lackawaxen River Trails was on top of that list. We all know that this access will do for the community, and on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Human Resource Foundation, as well as the Honesdale Lions Club, we are honored to be part of this project. So those are Dan Card's comments, and spot on. So Dan, thank you. Thank you. And so this is personal, and this makes it even more personal. I'm on the Lions Club with Dan, and he's a great partner there. And I was also a 30-year board member at the Human Resource Center. So tying the personality and how personal this is to me. Bill Gibney is now, I believe, the chair of the Fish Commission. My grandfather was the chair of the Fish Commission representing this district. My dad did the access in Hawley. He was the mayor of Hawley in the 70s and 80s, and that's when that access to the river off of Park Avenue went in. I grew up on the river, literally on Church Street in Hawley, and the Genslinger family are great personal friends. Jeannie's dad was my phys ed teacher, and we actually learned to swim in the Middle Creek in Hawley. Remember putting bags of sand out. I don't know if you're allowed to do that anymore, but we did it back then. And Jeannie and Grant are great friends and great advocates. And obviously, and Molly, I apologize to you, Molly. I got your husband hooked on fly fishing. I know that was a big money drag, a big time drag. And from what I've heard, you not only are a better fisherman, you're a better shotgun shot too. So he's not here, so I can say anything I want to say about him. So this is personal. As a county commissioner, we had a vision presented to us by Molly and Grant, and we were like full bore ahead. It was Wendell Kay and Brian Smith and myself, and then Jocelyn Kramer came right in afterwards. And it is apple pie and motherhood. Tim Schaefer does an absolutely incredible job as the executive director of the Fish Commission. I happen to know that because I've worked with them on not only this project, but sit on the Fish and Game Commission committee for the House of Representatives. And I have to tell you that Tim is the best of the best from a standpoint of executive directorship and communications, and having a tremendous organization around him. So Tim, thank you. It's just awesome. It's awesome. And then tying right in with Lisa Baker, we've worked very diligently on this, and Lisa and Jonathan advocated for us dramatically as commissioners. And now that I get to sit on this side of it, it's great. And oh, by the way, this is right now Texas Township. One good golf shot for people who can hit it 300 yards. 2 golf shots then for everybody here. Down the river, it's Palmyra Township, which it becomes my district, 139th, and Lisa Baker's district in the redistricting. So Rosemary Brown and Jonathan, this is in their district. But, you know, the Hawley access, if you put in here, you're probably taking out in Hawley, and you cross the district line. And so our partnership at the Harrisburg level is super important, and it's really outstanding. And all I can say is, you know, Dad having a bait shop, being a teacher, and then all the personal things that get attached to this today are just special. And I would be remiss to not say, you know, great things about the Shemitz family. I mean, the opportunity to have this here, Rudy Shemitz, who all of us growing up, and there's 7 generations of our family in Wayne County. This used to be Chromo Tube, the factory, and he bought that, made a tremendous business, has an incredible woodworking business, and Rudy, God rest his soul, this was a vision of his too, to have a first-class athletic facility for kids that he poured his heart and soul into, and this and all of the things that he did, you know, for no money, by the way, and to make this an available access is just absolutely astounding. And Tiffany, we're so proud of all the things that your dad and your family has done for this project. It's just, you know, it's as good as it gets. This combination of yes, thank you, please. So the combination of the goodness of this project, it's a private-public partnership, DCED, the DCNR. Christine, thank you for all of your help along the way. Christine's here, so there she is. Yeah, and just amazing, and the river trails people, and the county and the state level and the federal level with Fish and Game. I mean, this is as good as it gets for private-public partnerships, and it's just outstanding to be here to help dedicate this today. It's apple pie and motherhood, and as good as it gets. So thank you.
He has canoe paddles for his lapel pin.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Jocelyn. I'm one of your Wayne County Commissioners. I want to thank everybody who's up here visiting, who's not from the area. This is awesome. I want to thank our legislators, our funding partners, and everybody that is from the area. Thank you for everything you do in your community, because the people that are here today do so much for this community. This is important to them. I'm glad you're here for this event. I'm glad Mother Nature is cooperating. It's absolutely gorgeous out here today. The thing I love most about this project is I can't think of anything that's more vital to our health and our success in life as a species than water. And there's probably nothing more beautiful than it as well. A river access changes everything. I'm one of those kids who plays by the rules. I would have come by here and said, I can't put my kayak in there. I don't know whose property it is. But here it is. And it's available to anybody and everybody. And it's free. And it says, this is important and this is beautiful. And this isn't just a concrete walkway. This is spectacular. And Jeff George is here. Did I see Jeff somewhere? So Jeff designed this gorgeous poster, and some of these stampings are made from those images, from that poster. So the thought and care that went into this project says, you're important. everybody who comes here is important, and this water and this access is important. So it's a big day. It's done so well, so beautifully. I thank everybody so much, and especially within our own team at the county. I don't know if Vicky's here, but Vicky has a lot to do with making some of these projects happen. And we fellow commissioners, without Molly's and Grents of the world, you know, it would be a lot harder to get great things accomplished. So my advice to any of you is, if you want something done, please get Molly and Grant involved. And thank you again for being here today.
I think the first thing I want to do is offer Tiffany a chance to say something, because her father was a fellow Lion. She's a fellow Lion. We have Lions in the membership here today, and we had a lot of great community effort put together, but most of it came from Rudy. So this was his property. Give her a round of applause, and please say a few things.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. My father had a vision for Wayne County, and part of that vision was manufacturing, small businesses, made in America, but parks, ways to give back to the youth, reasons for people to stay here and raise families here. The one thing my father always told me was, find the people that want to make the change and connect them with the people that can do it. And so this project couldn't have been made possible if it wasn't for the volunteers, the commissioners, everybody in the government, you know, all the people that came together to really make something as simple as a canoe launch, you know, happen. So it's my family's desire that the community benefits from this, enjoys this, uses it for generations to come. We know that we won't be here forever, but it's a matter of making it better for the people that are going to take, you know, charge going forward. So we appreciate everybody. You know, the Homestead area JCs are going to love this for the canoe race. We get over 100 paddlers in the spring. So this is going to be a wonderful reason to bring more people into the area and to enjoy, you know, the beauty of Wayne County. So thank you so much. My father would have loved this. It means so much. Thank you.
And that was a slight breach of etiquette, because as I gazed past her and looked at the itinerary, she's actually the last speaker, so I'm sorry about that. I just didn't want to see her get overlooked. So one of the things I want to point out is the lapel pin I just got. Connor Simon and Derek Williams got me this lapel pin. It's a paddling lapel pin. I will wear it with pride. Years ago, I took to paddling, and probably one of the first people that gave me any advice on paddling was Al Henry, who I did see out here, worked for the National Park Service, and I just happened to show up with a canoe in Naresburg and asked him what the river is like south of Naresburg, and he said to me, well, somebody with your capability won't have any problems at all. I had no capability whatsoever. I was lucky to survive the trip, but it did get me hooked on paddling. After that, my good friend Dan Card, who had a farm right up on the Delaware River, we used to go down there and camp with him. We sat many days in the river drinking beer in a lawn chair, but also did a lot of paddling on the Delaware, and I began to recognize how much fun and how much of a family activity this could be, and all my kids grew up paddling on the Delaware and paddling here. So I got to tell you, this really does mean a lot, not only to the people that are here, but to the whole community. I want to thank all of our legislators, Rudy Shemitz and Tim Schaefer. I mean, when Tim Schaefer says we met up in a high school in Forest City and people had pitchforks and they were mad, that's an understatement. But this man came there with a positive message. He's held to his message. Fishing Boat has been a positive interaction for Wayne County for a long time, and it will continue to be that way. And last but not least, I want you to know that this means a lot to me, this area. My ancestors came here in 1851, and they came here to run canal boats because there was opportunity here. There was jobs in the United States of America. They came from Ireland, and they came from Germany. Some of them were glass cutters at Dorflinger. Jim Esselstein is here today, and he's done a great job at reinvigorating Dorflinger and making it a museum that is second to none. Give him a round of applause. And I swear, if you take a deep breath, you can almost smell the horse manure from the horses that used to pull these canal boats down the trail. a lot of history in Wayne County and a lot of beautiful places here. And I hope that with our guidance as local government, we can continue to make improvements here. I've made a vow to myself to listen to people that I might not even agree with up front, but I listen to them because I think good government is government from people who listen to others. One of the guys I listened to came into our community from California. It was Travis Rivera. He has Black and Brass Coffee. One of the first conversations I had with him was when a good friend of mine, Paul Mang, said, I want you to go down the river in a kayak, and I'm going to bring Travis Rivera. I said, all right. So we got talking, and he said, you know, Wayne County, and this is going back a few years, Wayne County has two beautiful rivers that converge at the northern end and carry on down through there, and nobody exploits these rivers. Now, at the time, I think they were doing some kayak races and some things like that. But there were no official river accesses. There was nobody who was actually walking along the river and appreciating it. We took the Park Street complex. We ripped down the fence. With the help of some of the guys from our correctional facility, they cut down all the brush. We put a trail in there. There's a beautiful trail that our kids in school can learn at a very young age to walk along the river, go down and see what the fish are like, go down and see what the crustaceans are like, the microinvertebrates. They're learning science, but they're also learning to enjoy life at the same time. These are the kinds of things that we need to continue to happen in Wayne County. Outdoor recreation has become something that's a phenomenon ever since the pandemic. We'll continue to work on these things. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for everybody's help, and we all are going to benefit from this in the future. Thank you.
Paul Edwards, on behalf of the Viome Foundation.
Quite a group to follow. I'll say three important things. I'll be brief. There is a component for the philanthropy for this project. And I'm proud to say that I am a member of 23 years of the Viome Foundation, and we've given 70 grants to 70 different nonprofit agencies in Wayne County. And as Dan said in his great remarks, when we got the request from Molly for a challenge grant, she asked us for $40,000, and she said you can pay as much as up to $40,000, and then whatever it is, you'll contribute that. And she says a challenge grant, and so we said, okay, we'll do it, and we'll put it out there for 6 months. In 2 months, the people supported this, and we got the $40,000, which I think say that's not a lot of money in the scheme of things. Maybe not a lot of money, but it says a lot about Wayne County, and it says a lot about what this project is about. And I'm a lifelong resident and citizen of Wayne County. I'm pretty proud of Wayne County today, and I'm pretty proud to be in Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day in the Pocono Mountains. It's a beautiful day in Wayne County. We have these days every day of the year if you're planning on visiting. Three very quick things I wanted to say is, number one, this is one of the amenities that really makes the Pocono Mountains in Wayne County very, very special. Number two, we're so well served by our local and state government who invests in us to bring these amenities to us. And of the 30 million people who visit us every year, these are the things that they really look for and they cherish. So we're very humbled to be able to show these things to our guests so that they continue to keep visiting us every year. And thank you to all of you for your investments in the Pocono Mountains and Wayne County. And our biggest secret to attract folks here are the people of Wayne County. And that's why they keep coming back. So I think Molly would like everyone to step over to a ribbon cutting.